All right, so we are looking at CC2, section 2.1.1, and we're looking at number 2-9. So 2.1.1 from CC2, and the question is asking us to convert the following fractions to decimals and show your work, right? So remember the fraction 2 over 5. What does that mean? It's another way to say it would be 2 divided by 5. So that's what we set up. We set up a division problem, 2 divided by 5. That's one way of doing it. I can show another way as well, but dividing, we're going to say, okay, well, 2, does it go, or 5, does it go in 2? It doesn't, so we put a 0. And then we have to continue to add some decimal, some tenths and hundredths, et cetera, et cetera. So bring the decimal up as well. When you add a decimal into your division, make sure it's in both spots. So now I ask, does 5 go into that 20? If I look at that number as a 20, it does. It goes in there 4 times, and I multiply times 4, and sure enough, I get 20. When I subtract, I get 0. Now I have no remainder, so it's a terminating decimal. So the decimal I end up with, so I can say 2/5 is equal to 0.4 or 4/10. Okay? And I did say there's another way of looking at this, right? If I were to take 2/5 and put it in as a tenth, can it be a tenth? If you can make something a tenth, a hundredth, a thousandth, then you can convert that to a decimal pretty quickly. And our giant 1 proves to us here that we could multiply by 2 over 2, right, to get 4 over 10. Or another way to say this is 4 tenths. And well, how do you read that? It's 4 tenths. So that's another way. If you can get it into a tenth or a hundredth, then you can write that down as a decimal. So that's a couple ways of looking at it. So B, on the other hand, is 3/8. I can't convert that to a tenth. I can't convert it to a hundredth either. 8 doesn't go into 100 evenly. So I'm going to, at this point, go ahead and do the long division. 8. So it's 3 divided by 8, right? 3 divided by 8. That's what that's saying. So does it divide? Nope. Put a 0. Then we kind of get to our decimal places. We got to add another 0 in here. So does 8, now I look at it as a 30, because I'm trying to now divide into, I'm actually having it into tenths at this point, splitting it up into tenths. And so it does go in there, and it goes in there 3 times. So when you multiply, you get 24. Subtract, we get 6. Now again, I don't have a 0 for a remainder. I have a remainder, so I need to continue on. So I add another 0, bring it down. And now I look, does 8 go into 60? Not evenly. So what's the closest? The closest in this case is going to be 7. So 7 times 8 is 56. Subtract again, and I get 4. Okay, do I have a remainder of 0? Not yet, so I got to add another 0, bring it down. Now, 8 goes into 40 5 times, and I multiply, it does equal 40. So I have a remainder of 0 now, so I'm done. I do have a terminating decimal. So my terminating decimal is 375 thousandths. Okay, so 3/8 is 0.375, or 375 thousandths. Okay. And then the last one was C. C is 30 over 20. Now I look at this right away and I notice these zeros at the end of each of those numbers. Those zeros tell me that this can be simplified by dividing out 10 on both sides, couldn't it? Right? So dividing 10 on both sides, that makes that 3 over 2. When I look at 3 over 2, I also know 3 over 2 is 1 and 1/2. So if I can see that 3 over 2 is 1 and 1/2, or 1 and 1/2, and I know 1/2, I've got that one memorized. 1 half is, right, 1 half is 0.5, isn't it? Okay, so we know that 1 half is 0.5. Therefore, I can immediately go and say, well, this is going to be 1.5 or 1 5/10. So 30 over 20 is equal to 1.5 or 1 5/10. Okay, all right, there you go.